Welcome to Survive and Thrive. This is session 3. I'm Gina Ferris, and with me today is DogBiz founder Veronica Baltel. And behind the scenes, making all the magic work, is Tia Guest, business consultant for DogBiz. Thank you both for being here, helping this to happen. In our last session, we looked at marketing messages and what to say to clients and potential clients through this crisis, and what our marketing messages might look like and how they might be a little different. Today, we're going to look at how to get that message out to clients. So we're going to look at specific marketing projects. And I know all of you have some great ideas because I've seen them in the Survive and Thrive Facebook group. So a little later on, we're going to call on you to help share some of those great ideas and projects that you've been trying. Tell us a little bit about how they're going. But before we get started, just a housekeeping note. Those of you who are applying for CEUs for IAABC and CPDT, you're probably wanting to know your secret word. So the secret word, the first secret word for today is content. That word is content. Okay, that's all I have for housekeeping. So I'm going to shut my video down so we have nice big bandwidth to get started here, and I'll turn things over to Veronica.
Wonderful, thank you, Gina, and welcome back, everyone. It's so great to be here with you again this week, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and say hello and then shut my video down for bandwidth, and so we can share our slides here for you. And so today we're going to, last week we talked about marketing messages and getting those all prepared. And today it's all about, okay, great, you've got your message. How do we get it out there? And so we're going to be looking at marketing projects for you. As we do that, I just want to provide a brief reminder again about the goals that we're working around. Never hurts to always start from your goals. And I think now too, it's so easy to lose sight of things with all of the stress and craziness going on. And so again, as we look at our projects, we're going to be looking at ways to help you generate revenue during this time, to get clients coming in. We also, though, want to really be looking at helping you emerge stronger from the crisis. And so what can you be doing now that serves your business in this moment and also in the future as we move on from this moment, which I know we're all looking forward to. And then, of course, at all times, keeping very mindful of what we're doing, of how our marketing can serve dogs and their people. And that's going to be a real focus for us today. As we do this, we're going to be looking at the kinds of marketing projects that you may already be doing, things that we've certainly taught for years, and how we can pull, which of those can be pulled into the present and what needs to be adapted to the current situation given the challenges of being sheltered in place to make some of the marketing that you may already be doing still work today. And also how to use, again, the marketing that you're doing now to set you up for that powerful, head start for post-pandemic growth too. So as we sit here, we're going to kind of straddle the past and the future, looking to take really powerful action now, informed by the past and building toward the future. Last time we talked about the fact that all of this, we're still calling on all of the same good marketing tenets we've always used. Last time we talked quite a bit about the third one, communicating the benefits and outcomes of your services, focusing on that in your marketing message. Today, we'll be focusing more on the first two tenets of marketing in our industry, content sharing and relationship building. That'll really be our strong focus. And there's a reason for that. It's because that's how you help. That's how you help all dogs and people. Dog trainers have never been particularly enamored of marketing. It's not something that most of us love about the work. It's not the first thing we think of when we think of dog training. And so we've long taught a concept of marketing as community service, as education, a way of thinking about marketing in a broader, more useful context. A lot of you have been sharing your concern about the dog lovers in your area who cannot afford dog training because of the pandemic. But, you know, you cared about that before too, right? That was something that was always an issue for most of the people that we've worked with through Dog Biz is this notion of, yeah, okay, I understand that from a business perspective, I've got to draw in people who can and are willing to pay for services, but I also want to help as many dogs and people as possible across a wider socioeconomic spectrum too. And so this is how we do that. This approach to marketing has always been the primary way to serve a greater number of dogs and their people. And so that's really what we're going to be focused on here today, is looking for ways for you to put your expertise, your knowledge out into your community to serve dogs and their people in a way that does them good, while also helps to bring in paying clients now and build your client base and your referral relationships for the future as well. And so just kind of keeping that in the back of your mind, that you have an opportunity here, not just to help your business, but to help your community too. And as we do that, as we think about sort of who your community, you know, what comprises your community, I want you to think about these three audiences. A lot of the things that we're teaching here, we teach in a real sort of deep dive way in the one-on-one consulting we do, and in classes like our Marketing Made Easy Dog Biz U course, things like that. And I'm not going to belabor this particular point right now, but I just want you to be thinking about the fact that when you're marketing not just to the general public, but to current and past clients and referral sources too. And for those of you, when you think about the people you already have in your sphere, your clients, your current clients and your past clients, these are going to be the easiest to market to right now, both because you already have easy access to them, and because you already have a relationship with them. The general public of potential new clients, they're going to be a little harder to market to right now, because there are fewer ways to reach them, given that we're sheltering in place. And so you're going to be relying more heavily than ever on your referral sources as a way to reach potential clients. And so that's something, so our focus today is going to really, as we look at projects, it's going to be kind of focused on clients and referral sources as a way to reach new clients too. So let's start by talking about marketing to your clients. There are a few things we want to be thinking about here. We want to be checking in, how they're doing, finding ways to serve them, and then, of course, letting them know what we're up to. When we talk about check-in, we're really talking about just, you know, how are they doing? Just being there, being present, being human. It's not enough to say that we're all in this together. We need to live our marketing messages too. We need to show what we mean by being in this together, by simply reaching out. This may not seem like marketing, but it is. It's about relationship building. It's about being a human being, but it's also about building the relationships that are the foundation of your business. And you're going to serve people mostly through sharing really great content. And we'll be focusing on this a little bit later with some real specific ideas. But you can also think here just kind of outside the box, finding other ways to just be a positive presence for your clients. And this is something everyone should do, but it's particularly important for those of you whose services don't translate to online. So, you know, dog walkers and daycares, we know we have some of you with us here too, and some of you trainers have decided not to do online services or aren't in a place where you can. This is something that you can be doing right now, just connecting with clients. I'm going to share a few of the things that we've been seeing some of our clients and grads and students do in a moment, but I'm inviting you to get into the chat pod and share some of the ways you're checking in with or serving current or past clients. And so, for example, while you're typing in some of the things we've seen folks doing, just literally just calling to say hello and ask how everyone is doing, how the dog is adjusting to being sheltered in place. No agenda, nothing to sell, just saying hello. How is it going? We've seen folks also do that with a handwritten card, just mailing a card, checking in, thinking about you. Or even mailing a favorite pic of a client's dog. We know a lot of dog walkers and daycares are doing that, where they're just going through their archives, finding a picture they love of the dog, putting it in a nice little card frame and sending it. I mean, it's just such a beautiful thing to do. literally just this morning, one of our dog walking academy grads sent me this wonderful little video. They'd used the My Talking Dog app to send messages from their dog to their client's dog, just checking in and saying hello. Completely hysterical. It was beautiful. We've got some, I've heard of some trainers and some dog walking academy grads dropping off food and enrichment toys on the doorstep of elderly clients who aren't able to get out. Beautiful. I love Jill speaking of that free do-it-yourself snuffle mat how-to video. That's wonderful. I love it. One of my favorites was Catherine Grieve, who has Kitty's dog walking service. She said I could share this with you. She did this amazing thing on Easter where she dressed up as an Easter bunny, put on a mask and gloves, and went into all of her clients' front yards and hid a treat for the dog and a little card for the owner, and then texted them afterward to say, put your dog on leash and go out into the yard and see if you can find his his quote unquote Easter egg. Just what a beautiful what a beautiful idea. Just so fun. And so just thinking, thinking outside the box like that about just doing something kind, just being there, reaching out. I love it. And then of course, some of your marketing needs to simply be about letting clients know what you can do for them and how. But as you do this, I just want to remind you that the 85-15 rule is still in place. This is something we've always taught, which is that in your marketing, for this kind of marketing to work, you have to have a balance, and it has to be very skewed toward the check-in and content piece, sharing lots and lots of content, and then sharing a little bit of information about your services and inviting people to join you. We've been seeing a lot of trainers, too many trainers right now, pushing new services very actively without enough content padding. It's great to get your information out there. I want to encourage you to keep doing that, and you want to get it out there repeatedly. That's part of how marketing works. But don't forget the relationship building and service part of your marketing work, especially right now. It's so important to make sure that that you're putting, you can do it where you're either putting out lots of really good content, and then occasionally saying, okay, you can send an email, for example, out that's just about, hey, we have this class going on, if you've also been sending emails out with content. Or you can send an email that's got some really great content and then a call to action to join you for a particular service embedded in it as well. But just be careful about sending out too much, hey, join us for this, buy this, buy this. It's not good marketing at any time. It's definitely not something that we want to be doing now. Follow that 85-15 rule, and you keep yourself in a really good position to be able to market in a way that's very, very tasteful and comfortable for the moment. Okay, and then when we're thinking about marketing to referral sources, oh, Maria, I love this. Delivered the expiring training treats that they can't sell due to COVID and delivered them to local clients for free. I love that. And that's something that you could do to referral sources too. Anyone who might have need or occasion, like shelters or rescues, for treats or food or toys or things like that. I love that. And when you're talking about marketing to referral sources, it's sort of similar. We need to check in, find ways to serve, and then inform and engage them. When we think about checking in, we're looking at how are they doing and what do they need? This is about relationship building, and the work that you do with referral sources now will go a long way towards serving your business after the pandemic too. You have an opportunity right now to forge new relationships and strengthen and deepen the current ones. By just reaching out and using that human touch with your referral sources. And again, this is something that all dog professionals can be doing right now, even if you don't currently have services available. If you're a dog walker, for example, or a trainer who's not offering online services, this is something that you can be doing right now. You're going to serve your referral sources primarily through sharing good content with them, which we're going to talk about in a few moments, and by being responsive to the needs that they share with you. And so I'm going to get back to that in a moment. But then, of course, trainers, you also need to let your referral sources know what you're doing and find ways to help them share that information and your good content with their clients and customers. So this notion about content marketing. I've been talking a lot about sharing good content, both with referral sources and clients. We want to get into that in some detail now, show you what it really looks like. So I'm going to hand over to Gina, and she's going to walk us through an array of content project ideas to share with clients and referral sources.
Okay, before I do that, there have been lots of questions in the chat about the secret word, so I want to give it one more time. Content, like marketing content, is the secret word. Okay, so I am going to go through some slides that have just some really, hopefully really good marketing project ideas for you. But as I said at the beginning, a lot of you are doing some really creative things that I want to make sure that we have a chance to share and capture. So if, as we go through, you have some of these ideas, you may have a different spin, you may have a new approach, a different way of doing some of these projects I'm going to mention, or even have ideas for new projects. So please feel free to share those in the chat as we go through. First up, I want to talk about newsletters, both print and email newsletters, because there are some great uses for both of them right now. An e-newsletter is a great way to stay in touch with clients. And right now, it's so important that we do that, that we have avenues or channels for keeping in contact with them. And I like the e-newsletter because it gives us a stable way of just kind of a framework to keep touching base. So this is still a wonderful tool. If you've been doing e-newsletters, this is the time to dust them off and make sure that you've been active with them. Remember, part of it is staying in contact with clients, because even if we haven't worked with them for a few years, they may be facing challenges with their dogs that they haven't faced in a long time. Suddenly, Fido is barking and chewing and digging or jumping, all those nuisance behaviors that tend to pop up when dogs aren't getting the stimulation that they need. And so some of those clients need to just be aware that you're still there and still able to help. And the other thing I think that's important about staying in contact with our clients is they know other people with dogs. I said earlier, I know 5 or 6 people who've gotten dogs in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And so if I get your newsletter on a regular basis, I'm more likely to remember to refer them to you. So just helping to stay top of mind is really important, and email newsletters can do that. Now, some of you are using mail newsletters, print newsletters, and these are still important too. These are still valuable. Your pet stores are still, even if you have stay-at-home orders, your pet supply stores are probably still serving clients. And this is something that they could put in the shopping bags that go home to clients. So it's a good tool for that, as well as shelters using them for people who have adopted. Even though shelters and rescues, many of them are not open to the public, they are still doing adoptions by appointment. And so this is a tool that you could use. And vet clinics. Some vet clinics are still seeing clients, and if yours are, then I think a print newsletter is so much more powerful than just a business card or a brochure. It really gives you a chance to show your expertise and how helpful you can be. And so in those instances where vets are open, you can use the print newsletter. If you're in an area where your veterinarians are open, but they're not open to the public, meaning they're still seeing dogs and patients, but they're not allowing owners in. We had a really good recommendation from Sarah Howe this week, who works in a vet office, and said, even though the pet parents aren't coming in, we are swamped. Lots of new dogs coming in. And so she was saying a newsletter or a tip sheet about how to get started on the right, off on the right paw with your dog would be really helpful. An e-newsletter or HTML email that she could share would be really helpful. And again, that's something that you could use with shelters and rescues too. So that can be valuable. And then don't forget your apartment managers or concierges. When we live in these densely populated areas, they're going to start to see more phone calls or hear more phone calls from people about barking or disturbances. They're going to be concerned about property damage. So even if they weren't really open to having the newsletter before, they might be now. especially if you take a newsletter to them with tips for how to be a good neighbor, how to be a good doggy neighbor, or how to keep your dog busy, things that will help protect the property and keep everybody happy. They might be much more willing to accept those and to make those available to people living in the property than they were before. So if you've tried those in the past, I encourage you to give those another try now, because sometimes it's just all a matter of timing. So that's for that. Nancy says she uses Constant Contact for her e-newsletter. Great tools and templates in there. Yes. Constant Contact, MailChimp. There are lots of good services out there that will give you Moxie. There's lots of good e-newsletter services that will give you some templates and things to work from. Okay. So let's take a look then at how we can share our expertise in writing. That's a great way to educate clients, potential clients. And as we said, I know that a lot of you are really concerned about, people who can't afford your services that really need your help. This is another way that you can help them out as well as market your business. You can do articles, local print or online publications. I would encourage you to try local publications for this. Even publications, again, that might have said no before are suddenly needing content. And something that's a bit more positive, a positive spin on the COVID crisis, talking about dogs and lightening things up a little bit is something that many publications are looking for right now. So that can be a great way of kind of connecting with potential clients. Along with that, even though it's not print, I'll just mention here also TV. Sometimes it's very difficult to get time on television, but right now, if you are talking about how to prevent separation distress, or how you can keep your dog and your kids busy at home, those are topics that, again, are timely right now and might be of more interest to news directors than they were in the past. Jean says she did it for the local news. Great, that's wonderful. Yeah, I've seen several of you on your local news programs. What a great time to get out there and establish that relationship. It will be easier to get on a second time once you've done it the first. So that's wonderful. Also, think about creating maybe an ebook. Something like surviving stay at home with your dog, for example, something you can put on your website or promote through social media, where people can connect with you. You can have them sign up for your mailing list, so that you have some place to send your e-newsletter, and to people who are interested in your content. So that's a great thing you can do as well. And then also think beyond your own channels, your own social media channels, and think about, can I guest blog somewhere else, perhaps a larger website? Again, getting exposed to people who don't already know you. For those of you who are talking about trying to start your business just before the crisis hit, this is a good one for you, because it lets you get in front of people who don't know you. If you're looking for this, look for local sites when you can. In particular, ones that are doing special interest or human interest type stories in your area. In my area, one is called like the Mountain Express. It's all about what's going on in Asheville these days. And so they'll highlight performances and talks and that kind of thing. They are really hurting for information right now because those things aren't happening. And so they're struggling to pull content together. And so they're the type of publication that would be really open to having some help with some local news that would be good for their readership or viewership. Sometimes large veterinary practices will do their own newsletter or blog. And so they'd be happy to have your content to help round out their newsletter or to share on their blog. They are super busy right now. And if we can take something off their to-do list, they might be much more open to it than they would in other times. So think about that. And then answer questions on, if you're going to be online, you're going to be cruising around social media, look for groups and forums about pets in your area. Ours is called Asheville Dog Lovers. I don't know what yours is called, but you can do some quick searches and probably find it. Look for those forums where people are asking questions, dog questions, and get in there and just answer some. Just be an expert a bit. Allison mentioned this idea in the chat last session, and shared that now people are starting to come over and see some of her webinars because they've seen her give good advice, they've appreciated it, and now they're more interested in some of her other content. So using some of these things that maybe you're already using, expanding if not, to get the word out again to people who don't know you as well as those who do. All right, and then how to put content out there. Obviously there's the written word, but my bias is video. I'll tell you right now. And that's because video is so powerful. And because for some of you, you're more likely to do it. Some of us really hate to write. And so video is our way out of that. It's so powerful to show people how things work. You can use video on your website. This is a great project to do anytime. It will increase the time that people spend on your website. If you're using it in social media, it will increase how long people are spending on your channel and how many people are coming to your channel. So video is just great all the time, but it's really good right now. And for those of you who usually use printed tip sheets, this is a natural kind of shift for you because you can take that information that you were sharing in your tip sheets and share it on video now. Whether that's the handout that you have on recall tips or how to, reviewing the rules of tug. Think how much more fun it is to watch someone do a Kong stuffing recipe than it is just to read it. Video really gives you a chance to really show your stuff off. And I love that about it. It's powerful, but you have to do it, and we don't usually have time to do it. So now some of you are busier than ever. Others of you have a little more time. So this is a time to delve in here and give it a go. Make sure you're sharing it out on all of your social media channels. Also, though, share your video clips with referral sources so they can share it with their clients. Again, getting out beyond just your clientele, but to other potential clients as well. Courtney says that she did a stuffed Kong meal prep video. I love it. I have a friend who just got a dog, and I was talking about the Kong as if, we all know what the Kong is and we almost just take it for granted. And he was like, wait, what do I put in it? So, oh, let's go find some videos for you. Great job on that, Courtney. Love that. Okay, so web seminars. Let's talk about, this is kind of another form of video, but a little more specific. Let's take a look at some of the things that you can do with web seminars. Someone was asking earlier about project ideas for veterinarians. This is a good one. If you've been doing lunch and learns or talk and learns where you go in and you talk with the veterinary staff, you'll find that those are always really powerful marketing tools. We can take that and move that on over to a web seminar for them. And maybe we choose topics like separation anxiety. Here's what we're telling people so that the dogs don't develop separation anxiety. That's something that would be really valuable for their clientele to know, and good for them to know that you're putting that information out there. So that's great. You can also, though, use web seminars, of course, with clients and potential clients. We'll talk in a minute. These are great ways to kind of funnel people over into classes or private work. You can choose topics like house training or give them some enrichment tips, things to keep your dog occupied. Again, tips for those people who just got a dog and have no idea of the challenge that they're facing. They're thinking, oh, I'm home with my dog, this will be so much easier. But some of them have puppies and now they have the challenge of trying to socialize them during COVID. You can share that expertise and that wisdom with them with a web seminar. For shelters and rescues, foster parents, helping them keep those foster dogs busy, giving them puzzle and enrichment ideas, separation anxiety prevention, really important for that. And then maybe even just some foundation manners stuff. So all of this great wealth of information that you have, a great way for you to share your expertise, help do that education, and help people out the way that you love to do while still marketing the business. Let's see, we'll pop on then. We'll go ahead and look at social media next. Got a few things here. I mean, obviously we could do a whole hour on social media. We're not going to do that, but I'll give you some quick tips. One is for you to provide quick tips in social media. Again, what is your favorite thing to put in a Kong? Play 10 minutes of tug before you get on your next Zoom meeting for a quieter, stress-free meeting. Just little quick things that you can write in just a few lines will be great. Or take a picture or create a meme from. Using your video tips, as I said before, this is a great place to use your video. It's a good time for people to practice loose leash walking. Or to practice situational awareness. If you're able to get out and take some video of you out practicing situational awareness and kind of narrating what you're seeing and how you're avoiding people to keep that six feet of distance, you could have a lot of fun with that. And again, really get people to engage with your social media a bit more. You can do something simple like encouraging messages. We have someone on our staff who will remain anonymous, but who sends me a Baby Yoda meme every day because she and I both love Baby Yoda, and it makes me smile every day. I feel so, you can say her name and I smile now. So just, being a point of light to our clients, inspirational quotes, creating fun memes, sharing fun pictures. Not all of it has to be doggy stuff. Let's just be the place that they go when they just need a break from all this COVID and just need some fun. So it's okay to have fun. Then I wanted to really hit the last two, client engagements and conversation starters, because the whole point of social media is to create a community. And so if all you're doing is talking to the community all the time, you don't get that connection that is so powerful from social media. So look for ways to create content that your clients will engage with, both because it will be a more powerful experience for them and because it will take some of the workload off of you. So how can we get their help? Some things that we've seen people do, we've had some Dog Walking Academy grads do a couple of really cool things. One was on Instagram, Throwback Thursday, sharing old pictures of clients' dogs, and then getting them to share a picture when they were a puppy, or share a picture when they were being, a little bit naughty, whatever. But getting people to kind of like look back on fun times, or just doing Dog of the Day. You can do this on Facebook or Instagram, where you just feature a dog. If this one was done by a dog walker, and so they featured one of their dogs. They pick a favorite photo from one of a previous walk that they have done, and tell a story about that dog, or something silly that they did on a walk, or fun or sweet, and they shared that. Those are things that you can do as trainers too. You can look back on some of their clients who've made such good progress, look back on earlier times, and remind them how far they've come. Be sure that you're tagging them so that they can share those with their friends, because of course they want all their friends to see pictures of their dogs. We all do. So use that to your advantage as well. I'm going to give you some conversation starters for social media, just some questions that you can throw out. If you do have pretty good engagement already, you can start asking specific questions, and then share your thoughts in the chat as well if you have some too. But it can be something super simple, like, what are you doing to keep your dog busy? It could be a simple question like that. You could ask a little more advanced version of that if people are pretty good at chiming in. Have them share a photo or a video clip of their dog doing their favorite thing during stay at home. What you get is a lot of sleeping dogs, but they're in funny positions, but that's cute. You can ask them what their biggest dog-related challenge has been with sheltering in place. You know, again, a great way to not only get the conversation started, but to get some insight into what challenges they might be facing at home, so that you can target your market or your services to help them meet those challenges. So this is a good chance to listen with these questions. What's your dog's favorite puzzle toy or treat? What have you been doing to exercise your dog? What are you doing for downtime yourself? Again, you can ask questions that aren't doggy related necessarily. So just, just some things where people can weigh in. We're all socially, a little bit more socially isolated than normal. So give people a chance to talk and chat and talk about what's on their mind. It's a great time for that. Laura says that every day on Facebook, she posts a client dog during training, what they're working on, how and why how it's helping the dog to be a better canine companion. I love it. Highlighting the work that your clients are doing. It's reinforcing to them, and it shows everyone else that dog training can still happen in this virtual world. I like that a lot. It's great.
Gina, there's been one technical question about whether you're talking about a Facebook page or a Facebook group.
Oh, good question. So you can do either. So, and I encourage you to use some of these questions on both. So the Facebook page is what anybody can find, right? Anybody can search for it and find your page and like your page. But groups, you can set up if you would like to engage with a certain population specifically. So for instance, maybe you work a lot of reactive dog cases, and you have a lot of reactive dog clients. You could set up a separate group just for them, just for people with that special interest, and then make sure that you're posting content in there that's relates to what the problems or challenges that they have, right? What do you do when you've got a reactive dog? What can I be working on since I can't go out and practice with other dogs so much right now? What tips do you have for that? So Facebook groups are really good for kind of that separate special interest. Some people will set up a Facebook group just for past clients, people who are, so it's a little easier to monitor that group because they've all experienced your training and your training methodology. And so it takes some of the moderating pressure off because they kind of help to moderate each other because they've all received the same advice. So you can do that. But don't neglect your own page too. Keep letting people know that you're out there with that page as well. And groups can be closed or open to the public. And that you can set that either way. Like I said, so if you wanted one that was just really specific for a group of people, you could set up a closed group just for that. But diving down and helping people who have similar interests to share those interests is great. Zoe is asking about the best way to get more followers. So there's lots that I could say about that, but just in general, if you share good content, if you don't share good content, you won't get followers. If you are providing information that people find valuable, they are going to share it and tell people about your page, and it's going to help immensely. Video, definitely helps. Getting on and talking in other people's live chats, live Facebook lives, or joining their chat groups or something that they're doing is another way. And you guys can team up. If you've got someone, maybe you have someone who specializes in aggression in your area and you don't, but you specialize in puppies, maybe you cross, and maybe you do a live chat for them on puppies and they do a live chat for you on aggression. But just, figuring out how to connect and work with each other. How much is too much on your Facebook page? Holly asks. You hear different opinions, and that, Holly, is because I don't know that there's good data on that. Generally speaking, the last data point I saw on that is about once or twice a day. Right now, you can get by with a little bit more because people are we're at home and we're paying more attention. But I think when you think about too much or not enough, the most important thing is to think about, is it good content? So if you get on 5 times a day and you don't really share great content, that's too much. But once a day can be too much of that. But if you're getting on and you're sharing a good mix of content and you're getting conversations started, then you can be on there more, and people will enjoy it. Allison says that she's tried to put a creative twist on questions. For example, we have a lot of people in a pet forum who are stressed out of their minds with their pets underfoot. And so they asked, what is the most creative way your pets have asked for attention? I love it. Yeah, people love to tattle on their dogs. Let's hear what they're doing. And also just to let them help share their frustrations with others and see that they're not in this alone. I love it. That's great. Okay, let's talk a little bit about how to help clients test drive this virtual world that we're now training in. It is not natural. I don't think it just comes to the average person's mind that, of course, you could dog train virtually, right? Some of us as trainers have just been wrapping our mind around that. So how can we help them see that we can still train them even when we are not in their homes or they're not coming to class? And I think the best way is to let them try it out. So this is often an opportunity where you're giving free opportunities for people to try out your services so that you then can promote your paid services. So it's important to know what's paid and what's not, right? But you can do things like web seminars. Again, those web seminars on house training and enrichment, separation anxiety prevention, all of those things that we talked about with video. You can do that in a web seminar with web seminars. And again, just you want to make sure that at the end of the web seminar, you invite them over to the paid service that is appropriate. If you're doing one on house training or how to get your new puppy started, then you might want to move them over to, puppy classes, that kind of thing. You can also offer a one-shot class or like a drop-in class where, and usually, you want to keep these super, super focused because it is just one time. So it's a single trick or a single cue that you're working on, or maybe it's, maybe you're taking question and answer on a specific behavior problem that's your specialty. Again, a chance for someone to figure out that they can get online and to hear this great advice that you have for them can be really powerful. Some of you have really focused on your past and current clients, making sure that they're doing okay and giving them just a free check-in consult. And usually these are shorter, 15, 20 minutes. You're not spending a lot of time, but just kind of checking in and saying, hey, are you guys okay? Anything new coming up? I'm still here, I can help. I think this is really great. In particular, if you had clients who were mid-package for private training or who were in the middle of a class and the classes had to be put on hold and you're trying to move them over to your virtual services, this can be a nice way to help them do that, help them to make that leap. You might need to offer a free tech setup session for some people. If you have clients who are really concerned about whether or not they can handle the technology, again, it's that hurdle. Take that hurdle away for them. Give them again a quick 15-minute tutorial. Maybe you even include that as part of your packages. That you just have this free 15 minutes. And so people don't have to worry about the technology because you're going to hold their hand and walk them through it. Again, making it easier for them to take advantage of these new services. Anytime that they can see these virtual services in action and they can see how it works, it's going to be really powerful. Jill did a great job. She embedded some videos in her email marketing. So just really showing off, what we're doing, how it works. What's this look like? That's great. And Brenda Belmont shared in the chat last week that she's creating a video commercial about online services, basically saying how online services can benefit dog owners. And I know T.O.D. Anderson did one as well. If any of you happen to catch that one, it was great. So just letting people see that this can work. Yeah, and Courtney says it gives people a chance to get a feel for her training style. I think that's true. It gives you a way to make a connection to make them more likely to purchase services. That's great. Okay. And then finally, some virtual experiences that we can give people. Again, just let them experience our work. Some of them are just fun meetup type things. Who we had? Oh, Dawn Goring, I think last time shared the idea of a virtual puppy pizza party. I love it. You combine my two favorite things, pizza and puppy. I'd love to come hang out at that. So, some of you Wolf and Wines, or Wine and Wolf, whichever way you want to go with that. Coffee chats, just ways for people to get on and chat and share some time together and maybe ask some questions. Those meetups can be fun. And then you can also have events though. And I was talking last time, this weekend, my family we were able to share their games that would normally be like board type games. But there's an app that you can share and you can play together from your own house. And we had so much fun with that. And I started thinking about, could we do this with dogs, right? And someone was saying they have their clients, they all get on Zoom together at a certain time and they're setting up obstacle courses in their living rooms. And then they're timing to see which dog gets through it the fastest, or scent games. I bet some of you have thought more about this, but just this creative idea of helping people to connect during this time, and getting to incorporate their dogs with that. Daniela says they're having a yappy hour this week. I love it. Clients get to show off the tricks that their dogs have learned. That is great. So yeah, using these chances to get people to connect and have fun with their dogs. We focus a lot on training, but this is a great time for people to learn how to play. And I'm amazed at how we adults can sometimes forget that, but how to play with our dogs and how to just have some fun with them. So those are some things that you can do for that as well. And of course you can do live Facebook chats certainly too, and have people ask some questions. I think Cindy has a good question about, where do you draw the line on what is free versus what is paid? And so I think when you're doing any of these services for free, whether it's a meetup or whether you're giving away that 15-minute consult, is to be really specific about what you're offering for free, first of all. So I'm offering a 15-minute check-in, right? These are the kinds of questions I could answer, just being very specific. And then, and then also just, again, helping them to know about, we could follow that up with private training, or, not being afraid to say, that's not something I can answer here. That's a longer conversation, to move things over. Also though, in your own head, know ahead of time, what am I giving and what are my paid services, and what is the information that I am using to help my community that I'm okay with giving away. And so maybe I'm okay with giving away house training tips, but but my specialty is, puppy classes. And so I'm not going to give away everything to do with puppy socialization and my puppy classes. So thinking ahead of time a little bit about which content are you using as your services, and which one are you okay at using as a marketing project. I hope that helps answers that a little bit. Okay. With all of these things, one thing to keep in mind is don't forget your call to action. That's what a CTA is. It's just a call to action. You have to be clear about what you're promoting. You have to come to that point in time where you invite them to join you to join the paid services. So that webinar and house training that you did, there has to come a point at which you invite them to join your puppy class and let them know what additional information they'll get if they do that. That ebook about keeping your dog busy while you're sheltered in place needs to, at some point, invite people into your home manners class or your private training. if you use the drop-in or one-shot class, if you did something like taught a trick, it needs to invite people. Hey, if you really enjoyed this, if you're having a good time, if this is helping to keep your dog busy, you know, we have a class where we do this each week. Invite them over and be really specific. Your invitation has to be concrete. You need to walk over, take them by the hand and walk them over to the button, the register button, right? Give them concrete steps to take. Click this button for more information, go to this URL to sign up, call this number to sign up, whatever it is they need to do, whatever the next step is that you want them to do after you've done one of these services, make sure you tell them exactly what that next step is. Don't think that it's intuitive or that's too elementary. It's not. You really need to walk them over and help them to take that next step. And then if you do that, again, you're going to see that you have an opportunity to help a lot of people. And many of them will take advantage of paid services. They just didn't know what was possible. You're just showing them, you know, what is possible. And when you do that, it works really well. Okay.
So we also just want you to remember in all of this, I mean, we've just thrown a lot of information at you and a lot of ideas. Remember that marketing is a process. Marketing always takes time and repetition to be effective. And this is especially true now when people are stressed and distracted and you're offering something that's new to most people, which takes time to process and open up to even in a good moment. So don't get discouraged. Many of you have shared in last week's sessions or in other communication with us that some of your first efforts to reach out have been met with crickets. You know, that you've tried some of these things and just, you know, no one showed or no one's converted, or you've reached out to clients and not heard back. But many of you have also shared that when you kept trying, your subsequent efforts met with better success. And this is just the way of things in marketing. Don't get discouraged. Just keep moving. Take one step a day if you have to. And as you do this, know that you have us and the support of this whole community behind you for ideas and inspiration and cheerleading. I mean, just the flow of amazing ideas in the chat today, just that we have our collective brain and our collective energy to draw on when we have a rough day. Remember that steady, consistent action is the key to marketing, just the same way as it is the key to successful dog training. Just keep moving.
Okay. So one of the ways that we will at Dog Biz feel that this group has been successful is if you can point to specific actions that you were able to take based on either advice that you got or inspiration that you received here. We hope that being a part of this group, we want it to make you feel supported and encouraged and positive, but we also want you to take something away, something specific that you can do for your business, something that will help you not just get through the crisis, but thrive long after the crisis is over. So we're going to be really explicit about having you reflect after our sessions about what your takeaway was. What is that one thing, that piece of information you got that you are going to act on? And I'm going to encourage you to put that over in the chat if you're willing to share. Keeping in mind that you have the support of this community behind you. Think about what marketing project did you hear about today that you think, yeah, I can do that. That would be really valuable, and share that. Tara says she's going to knuckle down and finish her ebook and create some social media conversation starters. Great. That's wonderful. Several of you have said that you're going to do newsletters. Good. Video conferencing with vet clinics, Mary says. April, FaceTime and Skype calls with clients. Good. Karen is going to do better about being clear with her call to action. Wonderful.
Jane added a whole page to her website with more details on her virtual training after the session last week. That makes my day.
Wonderful. Good. Fun interaction, video competition, Michael. Good. Yeah, I think you could have a lot of fun with that. and your clients as well. So lots of good ideas flying through there. So hope you can grab those, see what ideas they strike for you. But some of you, Kelly, I see the yikes. Yikes, I was going to, but this is a wonderful time to stop and think about, okay, I've committed to doing this thing, but sometimes the hardest part is getting going, right? It's the starting. So the next thing I want you to think about is, what is the first step in getting that project that you're thinking about done? Not all the steps, that's overwhelming. Just give us what is the next one thing you have to do? What is the first step to doing the project that you're trying to get done? And you can share those as well. Shelly says, decide who I want to reach. That is a great first step for any marketing project, right? It can be, we don't want to just put our heads down and get going. We want to stop and think about who are we trying to contact, and what's the best way to reach them. I love that one. Jean is going to check out MailChimp and the other services mentioned just for the newsletter. Good, it's good startup. Decide on what useful content is now, Karen says. That's great. Like, what do my clients need right now? Be a light to others. I love that. I think that's Kate. Yeah. I love that. How can we be a light to someone else right now? It's great. Get my social media back up and going. Very good. Yeah, if you've set a marketing project down, it's a good time to pick it back up if time was all that was keeping you from doing it. It's great. Okay.
Well, and I love that that note from Kate about being a light to others. It really kind of anticipated what I wanted to say in wrapping us up and closing today. I owe you a second secret word for today. And the second secret word for today for your CEUs is service. Service. And I chose that word specifically as a way to help you all try to stay motivated as you work on your marketing. That yes, your efforts are about getting clients now or as close to now as possible, and your efforts are about building referral relationships and an awareness of your business that's going to serve you in a faster reemergence from all of this later. But just as importantly, your marketing is about serving the dogs and dog lovers in your community. And on those days where things are feeling overwhelming, on those days when you're just feeling like, how do I put one foot in front of the other? That's the thing, is to focus that bit on that service, to focus on what Kate said about being a light to others, that even if it just feels too hard the marketing just feels so big, just choose one thing that you can do today that's going to be helpful. Just remember that that's why you're doing it, is to help others. And that I hope that provides that, and knowing that you have all of the support here provides some inspiration. Don't forget to spend some time, even if Facebook's not your usual thing, go over there and spend some time in the Survive and Thrive Facebook group too. Get inspiration there, get cheerleading there in between our sessions. And yeah, Jackie, right. It really is about learning not to fear it. I mean, we have to say the word marketing, but there's this part of me that just keeps thinking we shouldn't even use that word because it makes everybody feel so inside. But really, this is about serving. It's about teaching. It's about sharing what you know and making dogs' lives better. And if you just think about it that way, the marketing benefits from it will come too. So really hope that that gives you sort of a sense of a takeaway. Just pick one thing to do today, and then pick one thing to do tomorrow. Make the steps as small as they need to be to feel doable. Just keep moving forward. So while you're still thinking about that, I love Lynn saying she's taking the advantage of this opportunity to overhaul her whole marketing strategy and website and everything. I love that. I love that. Want to share with you what's coming up next before we sign off here. So on Thursday, we're going to pivot away from marketing into services. And we're going to start talking about online private training services, sort of structuring and pricing and approach and various different things in that. So that will be Thursday's session. And then just a reminder that we have the two tech bonus sections coming up. The first one is this Friday, the 24th, Tech Basics for Trainers. Gina's going to jump in and talk about all the setup stuff you need for private training, consults, and classes, and video work, and all of that. So if the tech stuff's not so comfortable, this is a really great time to spend some time with Gina. We're just doing one section of that on Friday, which remind me, Gina, that's a 9. So we're going to do one section at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon. Eastern, and I'm sorry we're not able to provide more, but we will be putting the video out of that, the recording of that. And then on Monday, our friend and colleague Arit Bloom is going to join Gina to do a Getting Comfy with Zoom, basically a Zoom tutorial, walk you through, show you the back end, kind of show you how to get set up and how it all works, and give you the view that we have right now as we're doing all of this, make sure you know how to use the security features, all that sort of good stuff. That's going to be next Monday, the 27th, and we're doing 2 sections of that. One at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, one at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. If you're not catching all these times, don't worry about it, because you should have them in an email that went out yesterday. We'll send another email out to remind too. If you're not getting the Survive and Thrive emails, please make sure you check your spam folder. They should be coming from Dvorsha. So if you haven't gotten them, make sure that you take a look at those. And we are using the same Zoom meeting and ID and password and everything for those, right, Gina?
Yeah, I was just going to say the other place that they can get information about this is the Survive and Thrive Facebook group. We'll try to get stuff posted there. We won't be posting the links there for security reasons. You'll have to get that through your email, but you can keep track of dates and times there. Also, if what you're doing is watching recordings, make sure you subscribe to the DogBiz YouTube channel, because if you subscribe, it'll let you know every time we upload, as soon as we've uploaded a new video. So you'll know about that. And of course you can subscribe or to like the DogBiz Facebook page to keep up to date on all this as well.
And Heather says she's not getting any emails at all. If that's the case, email Dvorsha in the office and let's get that figured out. It may be that I don't know, we'll figure it out, make sure.
The address of that is info@dogbizsuccess.com. To get a hold of Dvorsha. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so pick that one thing, get out there and do it, and then you can brag to us about it on Thursday and make our day about it.
See you then.
Everyone stay super safe. And yeah, stay safe and well, and we'll see you on Thursday. Take care, everyone.